Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive corporate evolution. We're talking about Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, and how they're basically rewiring their entire DNA in this new age of generative AI. We're going to use their freshly released FY 2026 annual report to see exactly how a global tech giant reshapes itself, its workforce, and its services for the future. It's kind of like watching a massive ship pivot in real time. Okay, let's dive into this because this number is an absolute massive hook. I mean, despite the breathless hype you hear literally every single day, a staggering 95% of enterprises, they're still in the very early stages of AI adoption. Think about that for a second. We are barely scratching the surface here, which leaves this incredibly massive runway for growth and transformation across, well, pretty much every industry on the globe. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the AI enterprise era, move into financials by the numbers, then look at infrastructure to intelligence, followed by building future-ready talent, and we'll wrap up with purpose and sustainability. All right, section 1, the AI enterprise era, moving beyond digital. We're looking at what is arguably the macro challenge of our time, making this huge leap in how businesses fundamentally operate. You see, in the old world, a typical digital enterprise basically just used data to guide decisions on static, rule-based software, right? But in an AI enterprise, the systems act independently. AI is no longer just some tool you log into. It's serving as a reasoning co-architect. It actually helps shape strategy, adapts to new challenges on the fly, and automates some really complex processes. It's a total game changer. And this shift is perfectly captured by TCS chairman N. Chandrasekaran. He notes AI will not just be a layer, but will be the operating foundation. This is an absolutely crucial point. Generative and agentic AI aren't just cool little features you bolt onto your existing software anymore. They're becoming the literal operating system of future enterprises, fundamentally changing how businesses invest, how they manage risk, and even how they organize their entire supply chains. Moving on to Section 2, Financials by the Numbers, FY 2026 Scale. To really grasp the sheer magnitude of this pivot, we have to look at the massive resources TCS is working with here. For fiscal year 2026, TCS pulled in a staggering $30 billion in consolidated revenue. Net income hit $5.9 billion, and get this, they had an operating margin of 25%. That actually happens to be their highest in 4 years. Throw in a total contract value of $40.7 billion, and yeah, you can clearly see the formidable financial engine that's driving this global transformation. But out of all those massive figures, $2.3 billion is the one that really anchors our story today. Why? Because that is their annualized AI revenue. This completely proved that they aren't just sitting in boardrooms talking about the theoretical future of intelligence. They're already actively monetizing this shift and doing it at an incredible scale. Okay, Section 3, Infrastructure to Intelligence, the full AI stack. So deploying AI securely isn't magic. It requires 5 very distinct building blocks. It starts right at the base with robust infrastructure. Then it moves up through standard tools and trusted data foundations, integrates both foundational and domain-specific models, and finally tops everything out with AI-embedded business applications. This is exactly what they mean when they talk about delivering a complete full-stack solution from the ground up to their clients. To make that stack an actual reality, CEO K. Krithivasan outlined 5 strategic pillars. Number 1 is TCS AI, which democratizes AI access for all their own associates. 2 is redefining services with this really interesting human plus AI model. 3 focuses on building future-ready talent. 4 is making AI real, which means rapidly moving clients from early pilots into actual real-world production. And 5 is an AI ecosystem play, basically deepening partnerships with global tech giants and making smart strategic acquisitions. Now, a prime example of that ecosystem play is Hypervolt. This is a secure-by-design AI infrastructure platform and data center over in India, boasting a massive rack density of over 160 kilowatts. They launched this in partnership with TPG, and they have an initial plan to build 1 gigawatt of data center capacity. To put 1 gigawatt into perspective, that is roughly enough energy to power an entire medium-sized city, all of it dedicated purely to AI computing. It really highlights India's rapid emergence as a highly strategic destination for global AI infrastructure. Let's pivot to Section 4, Building Future-Ready Talent, the Human plus AI Model. You really have to ask yourself, how does a company of over 580,000 employees actually adapt to an AI-first world? Well, TCS has already upskilled 270,000 of its employees with advanced AI capabilities. They invested a massive 69 million learning hours in just this past year alone to ensure their workforce is ahead of the curve. Just for some context here, 69 million hours? That's almost 8,000 years of continuous studying, crammed into a single 12-month period. Absolutely wild. And once that talent is ready to go, they deploy what they call the AI acceleration playbook. It's a 3-step cycle: innovate with AI, build with AI, and scale with AI. This structured approach allows TCS to help clients solve high-value problems in rapid 12 to 16-week cycles. Ultimately, it's all about getting out of those endless theoretical conversations and actually making AI real. Finally, Section 5, Purpose and Sustainability, grounded in community. Even as this cutting-edge technology radically reshapes our global economy, TCS is making sure they remain firmly anchored in sustainability. Guided by Project Alangana, which is the Tata Group's vision for a greener future, TCS is showing a fierce commitment to sustainable operations. Look at this, nearly 80%, well, 79% to be exact, of their global energy consumption is now sourced entirely from renewables. But to really understand the why behind all these operations, we actually need to look backwards to the historical anchor of the Tata Group, their founder, Jamsetji Narsarwandji Tata. This is where the human thread really weaves directly into this high-tech narrative. He operated under a philosophy that is very much alive today. He famously said, "In a free enterprise, the community is not just another stakeholder in business, but is in fact the very purpose of its existence." It's incredible, because that century-old philosophy still dictates their modern push. Today, they're using their massive resources to empower over 18 million people globally through education, skills, and healthcare initiatives. So we've seen how one of the world's largest tech services firms is completely rewiring itself for the age of generative and agentic AI. But the ultimate question isn't just about what they are doing. As AI becomes the core infrastructure of intelligence everywhere, is your enterprise ready to move from early pilots to full-scale adoption? It's definitely a critical question to consider as you map out your own future. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.